A simple gesture can tell an extraordinary story. Two sea otters float quietly on the surface of the ocean, their paws gently clasped together. It's one of nature's most heartwarming images. At first glance, it looks like a moment of affection. But the real story is even more remarkable, because this simple gesture isn't just adorable. For a sea otter, it can mean the difference between staying together and drifting apart with the current. Life on the ocean is rarely still. Even on calm days, waves rise and fall. Currents move constantly beneath the surface, carrying anything that floats along with them. Unlike seals or sea lions, sea otters spend much of their lives floating on their backs. They eat there, they groom there, they sleep there. In fact, sea otters are one of the few marine mammals that rarely come onto land. The ocean isn't just where they find their food, it's their home. But living on the water creates a unique challenge. While sleeping, an otter can't control where the current takes it. Without realizing it, two companions could drift farther and farther apart. A mother could lose sight of her pup. A resting group could awaken miles from where they settled down. So sea otters developed a beautifully simple solution. Sometimes they reach out and hold on. Scientists have observed sea otters gently grasping each other's paws while resting. It's not something every otter does, and it doesn't happen all the time. But when conditions are right, this tiny connection helps them remain together while they sleep. Even more often, sea otters use something else. They wrap themselves in giant strands of kelp. Kelp forests stretch upward from the ocean floor like underwater forests, with long, flexible stems reaching toward the sunlight. Before falling asleep, an otter may gather several strands and wrap them loosely around its body like a natural anchor. Instead of drifting out to sea, it remains safely in place, gently rocking with the waves. Sometimes several otters anchor themselves in the same patch of kelp, creating floating groups known as rafts. A raft can contain just a handful of animals, or, in some places, hundreds. From above, they look almost like floating islands scattered across the ocean. Within these groups, the occasional sight of two otters holding paws becomes even more meaningful. It isn't just about staying close, it's about remaining connected in an environment that never stops moving. Of course, sea otters are social animals. Mothers spend months caring for their pups, teaching them to swim, dive, and find food. Young otters ride on their mother's chest while she floats on her back. She carefully grooms their thick fur, keeping it clean enough to trap tiny pockets of air. Those air pockets are essential. Unlike whales and seals, sea otters have almost no insulating blubber. Instead, they survive cold ocean temperatures with the densest fur of any mammal on Earth. Scientists estimate that each square inch contains hundreds of thousands of hairs. The fur acts like an insulated diving suit, trapping warm air against the skin, but only if it's kept perfectly clean. That's why sea otters spend hours every day grooming themselves. Every stroke matters, every bubble of trapped air helps keep them alive. Their entire existence depends on countless small behaviors working together. Holding a paw, wrapping in kelp, cleaning every strand of fur. Each action seems ordinary on its own. Together they create one of the ocean's greatest survival stories. There's another reason sea otters matter. Long before scientists understood healthy marine ecosystems, sea otters were quietly helping maintain them. Their favorite food includes sea urchins. Without otters, sea urchin populations can explode. The hungry urchins devour vast underwater forests of kelp, leaving behind barren stretches of ocean floor. When otters return, balance begins to return as well. Urchin numbers fall. Kelp forests recover. Fish, birds, and countless other marine species benefit. In this way, one playful mammal helps shape an entire ecosystem. It's a reminder that nature is built on connections we often never notice. Perhaps that's why the image of two otters holding hands feels so powerful. It reminds us that survival isn't always about strength. Sometimes it's about staying connected, about finding stability in a world that's always changing. Whether they're wrapped in kelp, drifting beneath a quiet sunrise, or simply holding on to one another for a little while, sea otters reveal something surprisingly familiar. Even in the wild, the smallest acts can carry the greatest meaning. The next time you see two otters floating peacefully across the water, remember, you're not just looking at one of nature's cutest moments, you're witnessing the result of countless years of adaptation, cooperation, and survival. And perhaps a gentle reminder that sometimes holding on is exactly what allows us to keep moving forward. Thank you for joining us on another journey through the curious world around us. If you enjoyed discovering the hidden stories behind everyday wonders, we'd love to have you back for the next adventure.